Hello and welcome back to Tinker Talks Guns. I've been fascinated with cartridge conversion revolvers for some time. So when a model 1848 reproduction, the pocket Colt, came into my possession, of course there was only one possible fate. But I converted it to .22 long rifle. And here it is. The 1848 Colt pocket model, rendered as an avenging angel in .22 long rifle. Because I finished the conversion, tested it out, brought it in, showed it to my wife, and said it's cut in the style of an avenging angel. And she said it looks more like an irritable cherub. And it stuck. And it's kind of cute. Anyway, the 1848 was one of the best-selling Colts in the cap and ball era. And we're going to have to take you to the table shop and show you the details. So I got a nice box for a couple bucks at Goodwill and set it up with dividers and lining to make a handy little kit for the gun, which you can see there's some cleaning patches here, ammunition, the gun of course, and a screwdriver, a unloading tool, and a cleaning rod. All happy, useful stuff. So, now you've undoubtedly noticed the cleaning or the unloading rod is curved. That's because there's this here wedge that holds the gun together. So to unload, you cock the gun and poke the empties out one by one. You will note there are only 4 empties because, while this has 5 chambers, it's only safe to have it loaded with 4 chambers because the hammer is riding on the firing pin, and if dropped, it will set off a cartridge. So, as you can see, the barrel is cut in the style of an avenging angel, and the grip has been thinned out at the bottom in the interest of making it more concealable. I was kind of tired of bird's head grips by then, and since there are no period bird's head grips, I just figured, what the hell, good enough. So to disassemble it, you remove the wedge, which this one is very, very tight. So you have to get it started with the mallet, and then you have to drive it the rest of the way out with a punch of some description. Did I mention that it was tight? I think I did. Okay, so that comes out part way and is captured, and you simply slide the barrel off, and then you can slide the breech plate and cylinder off. And as you can see, what I've done is I've taken a section of .22 barrel and fitted it right into the chambers. The outside diameter of the liner was 5/16 of an inch, which is perfect for these chambers. So they were driven in and secured with Loctite, and then chambered, well, reamed out to .224, and then chambers cut with a .22 caliber chamber reamer. This is a piece of mild steel that I went ahead and manufactured to fit onto this. Now to get to this point, of course, I turned down the back of the cylinder on my lathe. And so this fits on, and you can see these little ledges provide clearance for the cartridge rims, so it can all fit quite snugly. And the firing pin, which is rather large, but it does work, strikes the cartridge rim, and Bob's your uncle. The barrel I also lined with the 5/16 inch, once again secured by red Loctite, and this has worked quite perfectly so far. So, not much to see here. It's just a 1848. And I did, of course, have to cut a groove here, rather deep, so that cartridges could be ejected properly. And there is no loading gate, and it's never actually seemed necessary because the cartridge is pretty well secured when the gun is cocked. And unless I point it straight up, they're really not going to be dropping any cartridges out. So, it is a nifty little gun. It has a little post front sight, and it's quite reasonably accurate. It pretty much shoots where I aim it. Looks like a screw is loosening up. Oh, nope, it isn't. The screwdriver, of course, is completely functional and necessary because when you fire these a bunch, they do tend to loosen up some screws. And it just seems to be a feature of cap and ball Colts. So the sight picture is not bad. I've cut a notch in the back of the hammer, which lines up pretty nicely with that front sight. And there you have it. There's really not much more to talk about. Lining the case is pretty simple. These are just sections of spruce wood from the hardware store that I cut to length and angled so they all fit in. There is some padding underneath this. I think I just used regular old foam, like you'd find in a cushion. And of course, I put the velvet covers on all the boards before I glued them into place. Drilling the holes for the ammunition box was actually a bit of a pain in the butt to get them nice and even, but I did. And that's just a piece of maple that I've drilled the holes in and fitted. So, and these are just regular old standard Sears brand standard velocity cartridges. So it was a fun project. It's just interesting to me, and it's kind of neat to do all this work yourself, like all these pieces with the different chunks of antler that was too small for knife handles. So I actually did find a use for it here. And the the ferrules on these are actually just cut sections of cartridge cases of different calibers that were softed and fitted and glued into place. So it makes a really neat, handy little kit and a conversation piece. And, the dimensions. The gun is not particularly large. It is 7 inches in length and about 4.5 inches in height. So it's a very compact, handy little thing. Guns like this, as both projects and finished items, they're just fun. I mean, there's no practical value to such a thing in the modern world except to make you smile. And it does make me smile. And I shoot it a couple times a year. But for the most part, it's just a conversation piece and a, hey, look what I did. Now, homemade cartridge conversions are a hoot, but don't try this at home. To paraphrase Paul Harrell, I'm what you call an idiot. I'm also a metal worker with 3 decades of experience, and I've got a pretty good idea what I'm doing. If you don't, best to leave it to the professionals. Although, of course, you can buy a Kirst or Howell conversion cylinder for many cap and ball revolvers, and that's very much the easiest and safest way to go, though it's not inexpensive. If you like the video, please hit like and subscribe. Commenting also helps. All these things help YouTube acknowledge my existence and get this stuff out to more people. And if you want to help in a more material fashion, because all of this costs money, there's a link to my Patreon account in the description below. Anyway, I hope this finds you well. Stay safe, take care, and we'll talk to you again real soon.